The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look at my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome on into a Tuesday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you till 3 o'clock, taking your phone calls on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Got a busy show today. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we will catch up with the Vindicator / Tribune Chronicle sports editor, Doug Chapin. Plenty of things to talk about. The AP has their football poll out. They have their soccer poll out. We certainly have coaches that as of 9 o'clock this morning will be filling out their bracket in terms of how they're seeding teams in their region, top to bottom. And we'll find out how many of those coaches are going to be using Joe Idle's system, which is 98% accurate to the OHSAA computer poll. And speaking of which, we said that we would try to get the mouthpiece of the OHSAA on, and sure enough, we get him. Tim Streed, who is amazing when it comes to his availability on this show. I'm proud to say that I have forged a really good relationship with Tim Streed from the OHSAA. We wanted him on the program on Wednesday. He was unable to do it, so he's going to be coming on Friday. And that'll be in the final hour of the show because, frankly, there's a lot of things to talk about with Tim Streed. A lot of questions pertaining to what is the attendance going to be like? Is it going to remain the same? What are the video streaming for places like here at YSN? Are we going to be able to continue to do what we do? Why didn't we use the computer poll after week 6 and set all the postseason games up by Sunday? So we have a lot of things to talk with Tim Streed. We'll have him on Friday at 2 o'clock. But today at 12:20, as I mentioned, Doug Chapin from the Vindicator and the Tribune Chronicle. He is the sports editor for both papers. He will call in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline to talk a bunch of things pertaining to high school sports in the Mahoning Valley. Jared Calhoun is the head basketball coach of the YSU men's basketball team. There is a lot of expectation, a ton of expectation for the YSU men's basketball team this year. 4 starters come back, including Darius Quisenberry, who was thinking about making himself eligible for the NBA draft. He just basically wanted to see where he stood. He's coming back to Youngstown State's 3 other starters returning as well. Jared Calhoun essentially has his team that he has wanted since he was hired to be the head basketball coach at Youngstown State close to 4 years ago. This upcoming season will be year number 4, and the first class that he has recruited are now seniors. This is his team, and it's been his team for the last couple of years. And YSU has made some dramatic improvements. I expect this team to be very competitive and make a very deep run in the Horizon League. And as a matter of fact, if we switch over to the women's side, John Barnes is going to have an unbelievable inside game for the YSU women's basketball program. At least 4 girls are going to be well over 6 feet tall. And, both teams, there is a ton of expectation for both the men's and women's basketball program at Youngstown State University. So we'll catch up with Jared Calhoun in year number 4, coming up on year number 4 as the head basketball coach at Youngstown State. We'll catch up with him at 1 o'clock. We'll stay on the YSU trail as we catch up with the skipper of the baseball program. Dan Burtolini will be checking in a little after 1:20, and we'll get Skip's take on the fall practice. It's been gorgeous in the Mahoning Valley, and I got to believe that the baseball team has had a ton of things that they've been able to get done. Now, the fall practice will conclude on October the 31st, and then no baseball activity until after the first of the year. So we will catch up with Dan Burtolini a little after 1:20. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to try to catch up, and we have him slated for 2 o'clock. Again, there could be some interference, but we'll see. Dan Yeagley is going to be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline, and we will have Dan Yeagley on, and we'll ask him point blank, did you or are you in the process of making your own selections top to bottom in Division 5 Region 17, or are you simply going to use the template provided by Joe Idle, which, again, is 98% accurate in terms of what Joe Idle has to the regular computer poll that is used by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. We've made mention yesterday there are a number of teams that will get a bye in D5 Region 17. There's 26 teams that are slated to begin the postseason. If all 26 teams decide that they want to be in the postseason after the pairings are announced later this week, the top 6 teams in the region will get a bye. If you use the computer rankings, i.e. Joe Idle's rankings, Garrettsville Garfield is number 2. Garrettsville Garfield is number 1 in the region. South Range is number 2. Crestview is number 4. So you would have 2 local teams, 1 team that we kind of sort of pay attention to as an outlier team. Those 3 teams would be representing the Mahoning Valley and the outskirts of the Mahoning Valley in our region. And those 3 teams would be getting a bye in week number 7. That's assuming that everyone decides to use the template provided by Joe Idle. It was an interesting conversation that we had yesterday with the head football coach over in Salem, Ron Johnson. And he brought up a very interesting point when he said, look, everyone should use Joe Idle's system because it's 98% accurate in terms of the OHSAA computer rankings, and since 1972 we've used the computer rankings to determine who has the number 1 seed all the way down. Now, we brought up a point that I think is very interesting. There's going to be some teams that are going to be tied for last place because there are going to be some teams that don't have any wins. And Ron Johnson brought up a very good point. Why not have those teams match up against some of the top teams, and you simply have the geographical matchups? So let's say Minerva, they're winless in Division 4, Region 13, and let's say that East Liverpool or Beaver Local is one of the top teams that's not among the top 7 that's going to get a bye in Division 4, Region 13. Obviously, Beaver Local or East Liverpool, it makes sense because geographically they're very close to Minerva. So if you have a geographical matchup between the winless teams and the teams that are the highest ranked without getting a bye, it makes perfect sense. So we will certainly talk with Dan Yeagley at 2 o'clock on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline and get his take on how he is going to go about doing the seeding. And again, all of the coaches that are going to be going into postseason, they have the responsibility between now and 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Every coach that is going to participate in the OHSAA playoffs has an assignment to do, and that is to rank their teams in their region top to bottom. And I'll be curious to see how many of those coaches use Joe Idle's system, which, again, is 98% accurate compared and comparable to the computer rankings that the Ohio High School Athletic Association uses. So we'll talk with Coach Yeagley coming up at 2 o'clock. All right, game one of the wild card format is tonight. This is a new territory for Major League Baseball. And before we even talk about the Indians-Yankees series, and we're only going to spend a few minutes on this, let me just say that this is probably going to be something that Major League Baseball decides to do from here on out. You can expect Major League Baseball to make the announcement after the postseason is over that they're going to really love this idea of having 8 teams in the playoffs instead of 6. So the one-game play-in game between the top 2 wildcard teams is probably going to go out the window, and you'll have the first and second place team in each division plus 2 wildcard teams match them up. Top team in the league plays the number 8 team, which is the worst wildcard team. The number 2 team in the league plays the top wildcard team. The number 3 team will play the worst second place team percentage-wise, and the number 4 division winner will take on the top record wise for the second place finish. And we'll go from there. This should be entertaining, to say the least. This should be entertaining, and I think I got that wrong. The number 1 seed would take on the worst wild card team. The number 2 seed would take on the best wild card team. The number 3 seed would take on the worst or the second. No, it would be the worst of the second place teams percentage-wise, and then the highest percentage second place team would take on the second highest percentage second place team in the 4-5 matchup, and that's exactly where the Indians and the Yankees are. The Indians will be hosting the Yankees all 3 of these games if necessary, 2 minimum, 3 maximum. It is a best-of-3 series. All 3 games, if they play 3, like I said, the first 2 games are a definite. The third game depends on if the series is tied at 1 game apiece after 2 games. But every game is going to be played in Cleveland, and Cleveland will have home field advantage in every single game. I wasn't sure about this. Now that I'm looking at how this is working out, I absolutely love this. And I think Major League Baseball is going to love it, too, because it's more revenue. When you consider that next year, knock on wood that we don't have COVID and the fans can show up, next year this is going to be revenue out the wazoo for everybody. And not just the home team of the team that gets home field advantage, but everyone will enjoy this revenue-wise. Okay, here's my take on this series. I think the Indians and the Yankees go 3 games. I just do. I think the Indians and the Yankees, I think this series goes 3 games. I think the Indians win game 1, the Yankees win game 2, the Indians win game 3. Here's some particulars for tonight and in this series. The New York Yankees struggled away from Yankee Stadium this year. They're 11-18 on the road. 11-18 away from Yankee Stadium. It gets worse if you're a Yankees fan. And again, these are regular season numbers, and they're not definite for the postseason. This is just a gauge on how things were in the regular season. The New York Yankees, when they were playing teams at or above 500, they struggled. They were 10-17 this year against teams at or above 500. And they were struggling on the road away from Yankee Stadium at 11 wins and 18 losses. The Indians were 18-12 at Progressive Field, and they were 16-15 this year against teams at or above 500. So the Indians were a lot more competitive and won more games against teams that were at or above 500. The two starting pitchers tonight, Garrett Cole, fantastic pitcher. But Garrett Cole on the road this year in 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 losses, but check out this earned run average, 3.67. That's not good. I mean, it's okay, but for an ace, that's not good. Now, again, these are regular season numbers. These are not postseason numbers, and things could change. But we're going on a 60-game regular season. This is a good gauge. But again, they're not definite. Shane Bieber at home had just 4 starts, but he did go 3-0 with a 123 earned run average. I expect the Indians to win Game 1. I expect the Yankees to win Game 2 because I will tell you right now, that Yankees lineup against Carlos Carrasco, that's a bad matchup for the Indians. It's a bad matchup for the Indians. Carlos Carrasco will struggle against that team. I just have a strange feeling that's going to happen. And then Game 3, I think the Indians win the series. Plesac is better than anything the Yankees throw in Game 3, and I think the reason why the Indians win this series is because of the starting pitching depth. And we'll just go from there. Would it surprise me if the Indians or the Yankees won this series in 2? No, it wouldn't. Absolutely would not. I think this will be a competitive series, but I think at the end of the day, I think the Indians win this series in 3. Just my opinion. As far as the rest of the American League, I like Tampa over Toronto in 3. I like Minnesota over Houston in 3. Chicago to upset Oakland. I like them in 3. Keep an eye on Minnesota. They are on a 15-game postseason losing streak. If they lose Game 1 today in Minnesota to Houston, they won't win this series. There is a definite in the American League playoffs, and that is Minnesota. If they lose to Houston, they're toast. They will not win this series. So Game 1 is a must for the Twins because of that 18-game losing streak in postseason play for the Minnesota Twins. All right, that's enough about baseball. Let's take a time out. When we come back, we will hear from the editor of the Youngstown Vindicator and the Warren Tribune Chronicle. Doug Chapin calls in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. That's coming up after this timeout. Stick around.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at
Baby
efforts
boy
to
is
curb
recovering from a broken.
Around our
Good
valley.
afternoon. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
It's important for everyone.
No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County Court.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. Let us welcome in, albeit a little bit early because of our interview with YSU head basketball coach Garrett Calhoun. So he has graciously decided to do this a little bit early today. We bring in YSU, good Lord, Ron. We bring in Vindicator and Tribune Chronicle sports editor Doug Chapin. Doug, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful, and we appreciate your flexibility in terms of coming on the show today. Let's talk a little bit about high school football. Here we are, the last week of the high school football regular season. We have a handful of unbeaten teams. We have a couple of league titles up for grabs, and we have the playoffs looming as well. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, how surprised are you that, knock on wood, we've been able to, by and large, get through the regular season without any difficulties?
It was great. I guess I'm not all that surprised. I mean, I think the coaches, the school administrations have taken it seriously, the precautions, and I think that is passed on to the kids and their families for the most part. I guess I wasn't that surprised, considering how the people in charge understood the situation and did the things necessary to keep things from getting worse. We may complain or talk about the fact that there aren't that many fans at the games and that kind of thing. But hey, that's probably why there haven't been as many outbreaks during the season once we got started. So yeah, I think it's obviously it's a good thing that we were able to get this far, certainly, and hopefully that continues.
Austintown Fitch getting a huge victory, a statement type of victory over Cleveland Benedictine up in Euclid last regular season. Steubenville comes a-calling. The Big Red 3-1 on the campaign. They travel to Austintown to take on Fitch. How surprised were you at Fitch's statement victory over Benedictine?
Oh yeah, it was certainly surprising. Anybody who's been following high school football would think so too. Benedictine had beaten Harding fairly. I don't want to say handily, but it was they beat them, and then Fitch and Harding played a real close game. So yeah, that's a really good win, and now they got a chance to do it again with Steubenville, and we'll see what happens there. You don't want to say, well, if they lose this week, it takes away from the win last week. But in effect, in some ways, that could be true. But it was really good win for them last week. Hopefully they'll have that same they're not looking back at last week when they go into their game this week.
Doug Chapin, the sports editor of the Vindicator and the Tribune Chronicle, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. One game that's already been postponed for this weekend. Unfortunately, COVID is the theme for both schools. Champion and Newton Falls both had an outbreak. Doug, any word on whether these two programs are going to be able to be cleared in time for the playoffs next week?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the protocols are, how long they have to be quarantined or any of that stuff. So I do know they're scheduled. They've set up their game for later in the year. And again, we always keep talking about this being the last week of the regular season, when in fact there are going to be more regular season games after this week, both from schools that decided not to get in the playoffs, and schools that are eliminated, that first weekend or the second weekend even. So, I don't know whether that will affect their playoff status or not. We'll have to wait and see.
And speaking of that, a few weeks ago, and I think it was early on in the football season, we had John Mang on, and John is very much involved in the officiating in terms of assigning crews across the Mahoning Valley. There's no secret here. There is a shortage of officials in the Mahoning Valley in football, volleyball, all sports. Now, there are some guys and some crews that have done an outstanding job, and then I'm sure they'll be rewarded this year when we get into postseason, making things even more of a shortage. Doug, do you expect those regular season games that frankly don't mean nearly as much as compared to the postseason games? Do you expect those regular season games to be played middle of the week in order to make sure that there is officiating for these games?
I'm not. I don't. Most of the ones I've seen on schedules that have been sent to us that have weeks 8, 9, and 10 on them have the Friday date. So I don't know. It's possible. I do know at least one next week that's going to be played on a Thursday, but I haven't noticed that. And I think the thing is the schedule starting into week 8. October 9th is the week of the playoffs, so October 16th, starting with that week, the schedules will be so up in the air because of teams getting beat in the playoffs that maybe weren't expected to get beat, or a team wins when they weren't expected to, so that the team they were going to play the next week has to scramble to find somebody. So I don't know. I mean, it's very possible that they will be played on a Thursday night or sometime Saturday afternoon maybe, because the state has set Saturday night, Friday night for the playoff games. So we'll have to see. We did get I got a cancellation on a volleyball match last weekend, I think it was, and the AD sent the note saying the game is canceled, and I think they wanted to make sure that we knew it wasn't because of COVID. So the reason was they couldn't get officials for the game, and that was volleyball. So yes, that has been. In fact, we did 2 or 3 stories on it last summer about the shortage of officials, and a large part of that was due to the abuse they take from the fans. But there are other factors too involved in that, and that's a concerning thing going forward. That we may not have enough officials for all these various sports, which are important to the education of the kids.
No question about that, and I think that if you schedule those games on a playoff format, Friday or a Saturday, this area will be scrambling in a big way trying to find some officials because of the shortage. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of those non-playoff games are held in the middle of the week, giving those officials an opportunity to officiate multiple games and still not be too worried about having the opportunity to be double booked on the postseason and a regular season game, because obviously the shortage that we have is going to probably dictate when these regular season games post regular season are going to be played, unfortunately.
Right, and I think the first 2 weekends of the playoffs will be the 2 worst, if you want to use that word, for that situation. Because normally we have 16 teams in the I'm sorry, how many teams normally made the playoffs from each region?
8 in each region.
8, yeah, that's right. Okay, it was just 8. So there were only 4 games in the region in each division. So now we're having 21 to 25, 26 teams in each region playing. Now, the first weekend there will be some byes, but that second weekend we'll have at least 8 games per region. They'll be down to 16 by
then.
Yeah,
they'll be down to 16. That's the assignment. Everyone is supposed to be down to 16 by the second week of the postseason.
Right. So that's twice twice as many as we normally have the first weekend of the playoffs. So, yes, I believe you will see some games scheduled for Wednesday or Thursday evenings and or Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, that kind of thing. So this whole season has been strange, starting with the cancellation of the spring sports. Even the West Branch girls basketball team on the floor, ready to play a state semifinal game, and boom, the season's over. That in itself just shows, in the fact that it lingered through all into the fall sports season. It's an unusual season. Hopefully, we never see one again like it. But everybody is doing what they can to deal with it.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears, hopefully we never have to deal with this again, because I'll echo what you're saying, Doug. It's been a really, really strange year, to say the least. Having said that, who has impressed you? Some of the teams that you didn't expect to be this good, as we are, we're in the final week of the regular season before the playoffs, and then some teams are going to expand their regular season after their postseason run is over. But who are some of the teams that, as we go into week number 6, you're really surprised at in a good way?
Well, I think just from the basis of the brand new coach, you have to look at Fitch for being able to sustain their success with a new coach. In fact, he's the third head coach in 3 seasons there. So that often is a difficult situation for a team, for a program, but they have come through really nice. Let me think. The undefeated team, South Range is always good, and I can't say I'm surprised they're undefeated, except for the fact that they're in the league that they're in, playing the type of competition they play week in and week out. The NE8 is right from the start has been a really, really good conference in just about everything that you look at in a conference for high school sports. So for them to be undefeated at this point is really outstanding. Springfield was, I don't think it's a surprise that they're where they're at. Who am I missing? Up here up north, we covered Garrettsville Garfield. They've put one together, a great season together with a nice win over Mogador. So they've been really good in the last few years. So I guess it's not really a surprise, but that one itself is they've beaten Mogador and Kennedy, 2 really strong D7 schools, and Garfield's D5, I believe. So there's something there. Kennedy has been really good, but they usually are. And there's another case where a new coach has come in now. Coach Perlogo has been with us in the system for a long time, so there wasn't that much of a transition. But I suppose the most surprising to me would be Fitch.
Well, Pie Valley has put together a really nice team, and they're number 12 in the state of Ohio in Division 6, and I know the AP poll is a little different from when you have those guys go into the playoffs and let's see what they can do in the postseason, but Pie Valley is one of those teams that I think everyone needs to be on notice about in Division 6 Region 21.
Yeah, and you could argue that the Northeastern Athletic Conference, their league is down, weak, whatever term you want to use. It's not the strongest league in the state, but PV has a pretty good program going, and they're in a situation Grand Valley used to be in previous years, where they had really good teams, but you couldn't really tell how good they were because of the competition wasn't as strong. But they held their own in the playoffs usually. So we'll see how PV does there too. They've got a really nice thing going.
A couple more things on football. We spoke with Ron Johnson from Salem yesterday, and the coaches have from 9 o'clock this morning to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to put together a seeding in their region to rank them best to worst. And Ron Johnson flat out said, look, I got a game that I have to prepare for, so I'm just going to go use Joe Idle's system and I'll do whatever Joe Idle has because it's 98% accurate in comparison to the computer rankings that the OHSAA uses. Do you expect a lot of coaches to be doing the same thing, given the fact that, well, they have a tiny bit more important responsibility in terms of getting their team ready for their final regular season game before the playoffs?
Well, I think now if any of them hadn't thought of that, they're certainly going to think of it now. That his website is just phenomenal. I can't imagine the amount of time he puts into that. And and all he has are results, and that's fine. That's how the system the state has used all along. It doesn't matter whether it's a 35-34 win or a 72-0 win; they count the same. But the fact that he has the scores on there, you can actually take a look and say, okay, this team has 2 losses, but they're really close losses against superior competition. So I think I think each coach will take. Some are more interested in that kind of thing than others, and like you said, some will be more interested in their own team, which is certainly the way it should be. But all the other sports, they have to do this too, or have been for the last few years. Basketball, volleyball, soccer, baseball, and softball. So it's not something new. And coaches have learned to adapt to it, and football coaches will too. And sometimes I can see some of them having a statistician or an assistant coach or somebody else, hey, you go do this, take care of this, the seeding here. But yeah, the ITEL website is a great source for figuring out how to rank teams in your region, and if that's what they use, that's what they use. I don't think there are any criteria that the state has given saying this is how you have to do it.
All right, let's scoot over to soccer. The boys and girls polls are in today's Vindicator as well as the Tribune Chronicle. Howland number 2 in boys Division II soccer. Canfield is number 13, and Poland is certainly in the top 20. Crestview is number 5 in boys Division 3, and Cardinal Mooney is number 14. Do we have an opportunity? And I got to believe Howland is probably the area's best opportunity to make a very deep run into a potential state title in boys soccer.
Well, they made it to the state semis last year. Were they in the championship game? I can't remember.
I believe they were in the state title game.
Yeah, South Range was too, if I recall. Yeah, Howland is very strong. They've got everybody back from state runner-up team, and everybody's known it all along. That's why a situation like this, where you don't have the summer preseason scrimmages, et cetera, to work with the new team, that's why it's an advantage for them, because they don't have a new team. They have just about everyone back. So, yeah, they're certainly there, and everybody in the area knows it. Otherwise, we're still in a situation. For the most part, that the Akron, Canton, Cleveland area has more soccer opportunities for kids, high-level soccer opportunities, I should say. And so it's once you get to the regional and you start facing those teams, where they've got teams over there that 10 of their 11 starters are playing high-level travel ball, and the teams here, maybe 6 to 7 at the most, are playing high-level travel soccer. So, that there's still that thing where we've got to overcome that at the regional level, let alone facing teams, Columbus and Cincinnati area in the state. So, but Howland looks like it has the pieces again, and we'll see how that goes. I think the Mahoning Valley is getting better. They're getting more and more opportunities for kids, but it still isn't quite yet at the level of those other larger metropolitan areas where elite travel soccer programs have been around for a long, long time, and they're just part of the whole soccer community and the way kids think about playing soccer.
And the same thing with the girls. In Division II, you got Canfield at number 10. West Branch is undefeated, though they've had 2 ties. They're number 12. Salem is among the top 20 in the state. And then in D3, Springfield is number 9. They're undefeated in 9 matches. Those 4 teams, anyone that could make a serious run in the girls' side?
Well, I think Springfield had a good run last year. And again, all of those teams that are ranked are certainly going to compete for the district titles. And then, it just depends in the regional who you get matched up against. And we've said this before about basketball and other sports too. You get to the regional, and if your first regional game is against a team that, where their kids are more concerned about winning the Ohio North or one of those kind of titles, a non-school title, then you're in trouble because those kids are playing at a different level than most high school kids. So if you get the decent matchup and you can win your regional semi, then you got a chance. If you get an upset in the regional final, or if you're in a situation where your region doesn't have a team like that just is really one of the best teams in the state, then you got a chance to get to the Final Four. But it's really difficult when you get to that level, and we sort of in this area consider a good run making it to regional, and there are certainly coaches and programs out there that are thinking beyond that, and that's the way you should be. But it's really difficult at that level.
Doug Chapin, the Vindicator and Tribune Chronicle sports editor, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. All right, before we let you go, this is an interesting series that begins tonight. The postseason begins. 8 teams in the playoffs. We'll have a best of 3. The top 4 seeds get home field throughout the minimum of 2, maximum of 3 games. The Indians played to a number 4 seed this year. They host the Yankees. Game 1 tonight, a little after 7 o'clock. Bieber on the hill for the Indians. Garrett Cole on the hill for the New York Yankees. Little tidbit for those that are not aware, Doug Chapin has a brother, Darren Chapin, who back in the day used to be a farmhand in the New York Yankees farm system. So you kind of have an interesting allegiance, being that your brother was a former New York Yankees farmhand, but you're a Northeastern Ohio guy. I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think are the Indians' chances of winning this series, or do you think the Yankees win this series?
The thing is, the way the baseball was set up this year, I hardly saw any Yankee games. I hardly saw any games outside of the Indians. And since the Indians never played anybody but the 2 Central divisions, I never got a really good look at the other teams. I know the Indians have the pitching to do it. Whether they hit well enough has been a problem all season. I guess we'll see. I don't really. I think they can win it, but the Yankees are the Yankees. They have ways to beat you, and they have a lineup that knows how to work pitchers. So Bieber and Plesac and Carrasco have to be smart and have to pitch well. I like the way the Indians have put Aaron Savali and McKenzie in the bullpen, so that lengthens the bullpen. They've got more quality arms out there that they can use. So it is all 3 games that they play 3 are at the.
Yeah, they're in Cleveland. Yeah, all 3 games are going to be in Cleveland. They will not be playing any games at Yankee Stadium.
And then they go to a bubble for the next round or the rest of it.
Yes, and the Indians are matched up to where they would play the ALDS, the Indians or the Yankees. Whoever wins this series would play the winner of Tampa Bay and Toronto, and that best of 5 series would be played at Petco Park in San Diego. That's where the National League Championship Series would also be played.
Yeah, the American League Championship Series will be there.
I'm sorry, the American League Championship Series. You are correct, sir.
All right. Okay, well, who knows? I mean, we've got, excuse me, we seem to have the pitching to succeed, but these guys don't have the experience in playoff situation, pitching wise. It's much different there. The pressure's on. Each pitch is a big pitch, and so hopefully they can stand up to that. We just have to have offense. Especially against the Yankees, you got to assume you're not going to hold them below 3 runs, so you need to score some, and hopefully we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the playoffs here because, again, I'll be seeing some teams that I didn't see much of during the season, and I love the all day. I've always loved the first couple rounds of the playoffs anyway because there's baseball on all day. But I certainly hope the Indians. You've always got more of an interest in it. At least I do when the Indians are playing in the playoffs than when not. The Cavaliers are an example of that. I hardly paid much attention at all to the NHL, the NBA playoffs since the Cavs aren't in it. But I hope the Indians do well. I think they drew what might be the toughest matchup for them of the 8 teams in the playoffs, but we'll see how it goes.
Hey, Doug, always a pleasure. Look forward to catching up with you next week.
All right, take care.
You got it. Doug Chapin, the Tribune, Chronicle, and Vindicator sports editor. You can hear him every Tuesday, normally at 1 o'clock, but, this week we have an interview with the YSU basketball coach, Garrett Calhoun. So Doug Chapin was able to come on board a little early. So we thank him very much for that. And, of course, he appeared on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Again, 330-886-0813. That is the number to call. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we will hear from the head basketball coach of the YSU Penguins, Jared Calhoun. That will be coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Coming up at about 1:20, we will hear from the skipper of the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini, as they continue to do their fall workouts. So we'll check in with Dan Burtolini. Dan Yeagley, the head football coach of the South Range Raiders, will be checking in. Interesting matchup on Friday nights. South Range looking to complete a perfect regular season at 6-0 as they take on 4-1 Hubbard. And that will be coming up on Friday night. Let's get to the phone lines real quick. Tony, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on, Tony?
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Hey, I was listening to your discussion about in the Salem coaches, and I respect all these guys' opinions, about using Joe Idle as the how you rate these teams.
Yep.
Going. I did something real quick, and because I don't know, felt like it, I guess. Joe Idle, I listed divisions 1 through 7, and I laid out the top 4 in my opinion. Top four are the only ones that really matter. They're going to be the heads of that bracket, correct?
Well, in terms of seeding, in terms of the buys, it won't be just the top 4, but you can make an argument that in each region there's 3 or 4 teams that have a really good chance at coming out of their region and going to the state semifinals. From that regard, I would agree with you.
Yeah, and the reason I did that is because I took my opinion, I took AP's opinion, and I took Joe Idle's opinion, and I laid them out. And I went per region. And it's amazing how close they all were. There's some flyers out there, and I would hope the coaches look down the list and say, let's say, for example, Division I, St. Edwards, or St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius is not the 14th team in that region. They're not. It's just they could not schedule teams to play them on short notice. It just didn't work into their schedule, and they really got ripped off on Joe Idle points because of that.
Well, if this were a regular season, that's where they would be. If this were a normal regular season.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association came in and said, your schedule is gone. Now scramble and find games. That put all these teams behind the eight ball.
I get that, Tony, but the result of them being 0-2 is that's what their result would be with the computer poll. But yet, because they haven't won a game, they would have 0 computer points and they'd be tied for last place. Now, obviously,
do you put them last in your ranking if you're a coach?
Hell no, I wouldn't, because that's only been 2 games, and I know that Ignatius can win probably 3 or 4 games. I mean, they're talented. Although I will say they got destroyed by St. Ed's. And I'm pretty sure they got destroyed by another team. The two
Massillon beat them, and St. Ed's beat them.
Yeah, and the 2 losses were not good losses for Ignatius. They were 2.
Also a team that had, and like we talk about all the time, and we talked about it with Poland, they had a late start on the season. So you got to discount some of their early games, and they had no games up till that point. You know, Ed's had 3 games by that time. Massillon had 3 games by the time they played. It is what it is. You know, these teams are going to have to play through it. But the other thing is, I went through the AP and I looked down through the AP, and it only goes so deep. So some of these regions, I only got 2 or 3 teams. But it lined up exactly with Joe Idle, Ed's mentor. But they had Joe Idle had Euclid at 3, and there's no way Euclid's a third-place team. The AP had McKinley at 3rd, and that's who I would have put at 3rd, and I would have put Ignatius at 4th, by the way. So Euclid's sitting in 3rd if you just go down through Joe Idle and take Joe Idle.
Yeah, and again, the Joe Idle's system is 98% to what the computer rankings are. And Euclid has played 5 games this year. They've won 3 of them. Their 2 losses, they got beat 27-12 by Menor, and they lost to Strongsville 35-26.
But what are their wins, too?
They've beaten Brunswick, who's 3-2, Cleveland Heights, who's 3-1, and they beat 2 and 3 Medina.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see when it all plays out. Go to Division 2. This is one, or a region, or Division 2. This is one we always talk about. The Joe Idle has it: Hoban, Walsh Jesuit, Hudson, and Fitch.
Yes.
Now, here's the way I would put it. I would put it Hoban, but number 2, I'd have to debate whether it's Hudson or Fitch. And I think either one, you can make an argument for either one of those 2 teams being number 2. I don't put Walsh Jesuit in the top 4. Look at their schedule.
That schedule's been actually pretty good, Tony. I mean, the Parma Holy Name is 3-1 this year. Parma Padua.
Who did Parma Holy Name play to get to 3-1?
Well, I get that, but it's still 3-1. I mean, the combined record that they've played is 10-9, which this late in the season, a 10-9 record. Go to Akron Hoban for a second. Hoban's combined record, quick arithmetic, is 9-6. And if you can't discount the reigning Sports Academy because that game didn't count, so right. it would be 9-6, which is comparable. I mean,
I'm just telling my opinion. If you think these Joe Idle numbers are good, we'll find out in the end. But
no, of course.
I have Hudson and Fitch both above Walsh Jesuit, both of them, and we'll see how it plays out. And I also, Nordonia is a team that's sitting down, and Nordonia, in my opinion, belongs in the top 4. So. And there's another team out there that got destroyed by Fitch last week, and I would like to talk deeper about that, but I won't. This team has been beat up all season, and I saw something I was very disappointed in Benedictine. This team is fighting amongst themselves, and this coach has to find a way. I don't care if it's go out on Monday and play flag football. Let's just clear our heads, guys. These guys are at each other's throat. They've had a brutal schedule.
No question. I mean, the 3 losses combined 13-1.
Right.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I mean, it was a brutal. And remember who Massillon lost to? Massillon lost to St. Ed. So Massillon's loss you can discount. So it's crazy. So again, I wouldn't put Walsh Jesuit in the top 4, but Hudson and Fitch definitely. I'm debating those between who goes 2 and 3 in that position. So, and if you look at the AP, that's exactly how the AP has it. They have Hoban, Hudson, Fitch, and then Walsh Jesuit 4.
Yeah. I mean, look, I understand that it's Idle's version is not perfect simply because, again, some of these schools have not had an opportunity to play the teams that they wanted to play, and frankly, some of them have not played an awful lot of games because of the fact that they just weren't able to put 6 opponents on their schedule. So obviously they are going to get they're not going to get a high ranking based upon a 2 or 3 game schedule. Now, the good thing about this is the OHSAA's computer rankings do the same thing. They take into account how many games a team has played, so the divisor is a lower number than what it normally would be. So, they have Kirtland number 6.
Let me make two more points real quick. Go to Division 4. I put Ursuline in my top 4. If you look at that, I've got to put Ursuline in my top 4. Just about how they perform, not their record, who they played and how they performed for a Division 4 team. I've got to put Ursuline at number 4. I moved Field out. Northwest Poland and West Branch, those are 3 really solid teams. Go to Division 5. How do you not put Kirtland in your top 4? That's what Joe Idle does not have them in the top 4.
No, because, again, Kirtland has not played an awful lot of games. And, they've played 5. But the teams that they have played, they've beaten 2 teams with 1 win, Division 1 Shaker Heights, Division 6 Cardinal, and Division 5 Grand Valley.
And Mayfield. They beat Mayfield, didn't they?
No, they didn't. They beat Lake Catholic, a D4 team, and they beat a winless Solon team in D1. So the 2 D1 teams, a combined record of 1-5. The
but
2
again, D1 teams.
But losing teams. I mean, I understand that, it's D1. And it would be the same thing in the computer rankings, Tony. Just because you're playing a D1 team, you're going to be good in the first part of it. But the second part, the level 2 points, you're not going to get a lot of level 2 points because the teams that you beat weren't very good.
Well, one more point on that. Statistically, Joe Idle and the Harbin system has been great, the same system.
Sure.
But you are significantly more statistically accurate over a 10-game season, a 10-game sampling, versus a 5-game sampling.
No, you aren't, Tony, because they use the divisor and bring it down to where it would be for a 5-game schedule.
If you flip a coin one time, you can't extrapolate out what that every time it's going to be heads. Over 10 times, it's probably going to be a 50-50 mix.
Well, I know, but I mean, the point of all of this is if your teams that you're beating are not winning games, you're not getting level 2 points. Therefore, you are not going to be getting a lot of points overall in the computer rankings. Now, look, is Kirtland the number 6 team in this region? Hell no, they're not. But as far as the computer rankings are concerned, they are, because they haven't beaten anybody that has given them enough level 2 points to move on.
Where's Ursuline sitting right now? Do they got a bye or not?
That's going to be up in the air.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
if we go Joe Idle, do they have a bye or not?
They're number 11, so they would not have a bye.
Yeah, see, I see them as a bye team. I really do.
Well, I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. And you can go down. You can go down the list. Who wasn't in the top 4? Mogador in 6.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll find out if the coaches decide to use it or not.
Wasn't the top team in Joe Idle for that region?
Yeah. And again, we'll find out what the coaches do. Tony, I got to get going. We got an interview coming up. See you. 330-886-0813. Take a timeout. Be back. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. It's 1 o'clock. It's time to bring in the head basketball coach of the Youngstown State University men's basketball program, Jared Calhoun. He joins me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. Coach, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Ron, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for agreeing to come on. This is going to be year number 4 for you and this program that you are putting together. And, well, I'll tell you, Coach, you finally have all of the pieces together in terms of the kind of basketball team that you want to have on the floor on a night-in, night-out basis. And I got to believe that that's putting a smile on your face.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, it's been a lot of work by everybody. You know, obviously the players, all the credit to them on the development over the last 3 years. But we're excited. Yeah, we've got a good group coming back. We've got a good group of new faces coming into Youngstown that are joining the team. We're really excited about that freshman class. So, you know, we're happy going into year 4, that's for sure.
Your freshman class, your first recruiting class, they're now seniors. Naz Bohannon, he leads the way. The 6'6" forward, he has been fantastic in hhis first 3 years at Youngstown State, providing some really good leadership. Talk a little bit about the maturation process of Naz Bohannon from his freshman year to today, Coach.
Yeah, it's really why you get into college athletics. Doesn't really matter what sport it is, but as a coach, it's probably the most gratifying thing is just to see the development, not only on the court but off the court, the maturity. From a leadership standpoint, he's been tremendous throughout this pandemic and everything that's going on. So we're really, really excited, you know, for his voice. I think it carries so much weight with these young guys, and you know, not only his voice but his actions. You know, I think leadership is all about setting the example with your actions. Whether it's coming in early, staying late, how hard you work while you're here, and then off the court. You know, just mentoring these young guys, showing them what our standards are about, what we want to be about. He's done a tremendous job, Ron.
You know, the rest of the senior class, you've got Garrett Covington, who I thought did a fantastic job defensively and was able to do a great job on both ends of the floor. Michael Akuche has been fantastic as well. You've got Christian Bentley, Jameer Thomas rounding out the senior class, and Darius Quisenberry, who we have absolutely, I know I've absolutely loved seeing this kid play the first 2 years at YSU, and really grateful that he's back for a third year. Coach, you got some really good talent this year.
Yeah, you know, Garrett's done a tremendous job in the off season with fixing and improving his jump shot. I think that's going to be the biggest improvement that you'll see this year. He's been one of the best defensive players night in and night out in this league. He's always guarded the opposing team's best player. So that's a lot to take on night in and night out. Michael Akuche has certainly grown each and every year, expanded his game. You know, and then Christian Bentley, Jameer Thomas, those guys were really, really good in spurts off the bench, so just need them to be a little bit more consistent. Junior college players are always better that senior years, you know, understanding the system, their roles, and, you know, the way we want to play. And then Grayson Kelly's also another, you know, senior that we've got that has come in here that can really, really stretch the defense and make shots. Quisenberry's been tremendous, had a great off season. Was lucky enough to have access to a gym near his hometown. Has just grown so much with his maturity, you know, leading these guys. He's a natural leader, very, very hard worker, and I think you're going to see, you know, not only his stats go up, you know, scoring the ball, but, you know, his assists, his rebounding. He got a lot of good feedback from various NBA teams when he went through the draft process. And I think he took that information and really tried to develop his game.
Coach, you made a point of the freshman class. Talk a little bit about that incoming freshman class and what your expectations are for some of these kids in year one as a Penguin.
Yeah, you never know what to expect, Ron, with freshmen. Naz and Mike and Garrett, and certainly Darius, those guys got thrown in really early and responded in a great way and have had great careers. We expect many of these guys to be in our rotation, one or two of them possibly in the starting lineup. Shamar Rathan Mays, point guard out of Canada, has been tremendous. Really, really gives us a dynamic backcourt. He can handle the ball. He makes the right decision. He can make open shots. Will Dunn, 6'8", forward out of Michigan, has been tremendous. And then we had two red shirts. Daniel Goro, I think, is going to be a young man that's going to have a great career. Has gotten so much better. Kenny Ganley, same thing. Those two guys were in our program, so they know our system. Shane Ferrari gives us an inside presence. 230 pounds, 6'8", can really run, finish, and block shots around the rim. And then Miles Hunter has been tremendous over the last 2 weeks. You're just seeing that improvement, just getting better and better each day. And then Jeff Hamparian's another guy that, really came on middle to late in the season. I think he's going to be a really, really good player this year as well. So we think our roster is probably the deepest it's been. We do have a lot of new guys that have got to learn the system and figure out how the college game works. But with having some of those veteran guys to show them the way on how hard you got to play each and every day, I think it's really going to help. Alex Vargo is another freshman from Wheeling, West Virginia, 6'3" shooter that has been tremendous offensively. So those are kind of the guys that are going to be on our roster that will have a big impact. So we're excited about it.
Coach, I look at Kenny Ganley Jr. He comes out of Brecksville High School, which is in the Cleveland suburbs. And look, it's no secret, Cleveland State is in the Horizon League. Those recruiting wars that you have with Cleveland State, and then obviously when you're trying to select someone from Northeastern Ohio, it's not just Cleveland State. Akron, Kent, they're in the Mid-American Conference. When you get a kid from Northeastern Ohio, it's a recruiting war, Coach.
Yeah, I think we just try to worry about ourselves. We try to surround our area with about a 5-hour radius. We want to identify the best players we can close to home. I think that's really, really important, especially during a pandemic. We're really recruiting the 2021 class. It's going to be another big class. So you've got to do a nice job of surrounding the area. But I think Youngstown State right now has got a lot to offer. Some of our new additions to our on-campus housing, I think, is phenomenal. Some of the best in the country, not just the state of Ohio. These apartment-style living arrangements that our guys have are tremendous. Everything that our president has done to our campus has really, really benefited our basketball program.
Jared Calhoun, he is the head basketball coach for the YSU men's basketball program. He joins me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. Obviously, the last 6-7 months have been strange, to say the least. The tail end of the basketball season, COVID started, and it hasn't gone away anytime soon. Knock on wood, it does. But what has the last 7+ months been like for you as a not just your family, but your basketball family? What has it been like as a basketball coach and as a father dealing with the COVID world?
Well, I think that's there's a lot of questions in that. I think the biggest thing that we've talked with our guys about is a chance to grow, individually, right? All of us around the country have spent a lot of time isolated in our own homes. So we had to figure out a way, to get better individually and then collectively as a group. So I think we've been able to accomplish that. We had a lot of different guest speakers come on and talk to our kids, really about the pandemic, about the social injustices going around the country, just trying to keep the right mind frame during difficult times. I'd be lying to say it wasn't difficult to manage, but I think we did a really, really good job. And when you have older guys on your team that you can rely on and they can really lead the charge, I think that was big during this. But, when our season was cut short, I think, first of all, it was anger. We were all very, very upset. We didn't get a chance to play in the CIT because we did get invited. We had a chance at the most wins since we've been a Division I school. We needed 2 more wins, and we were set to host a couple games. But I think once the anger wore off, it was, wow, we are in a pandemic, and this is a very, very serious situation, not only just for athletics, but the entire world. So I think we were able to, get better during it. And now I think we just have our fingers crossed and trying to keep a good, positive mind frame moving in to an exciting season that's just right around the corner.
Year number one, you had a bunch of young kids on this basketball team. It's some holdovers from Coach Slocum's era at Youngstown State, but by and large, a lot of young kids. Now here we are, year number 4. This is more of a veteran basketball team. Do you and the coaches coach a little differently, knowing that you have a veteran type of basketball team that by and large has already understood the system?
Well, I think it helps. It really, really helps with your practice planning, your individuals, your weight conditioning. The players kind of set the tone. So we're really fortunate to have so many guys coming back that know our system offensively and defensively. And then you just have to figure out how you're going to get better in certain areas. We really took a lot of strides last year in the right direction. So you look at what you've got coming back, what you have coming in, you try to tweak a few things, and just continue to get better. As the game changes, I think as a coach, you got to get better. You got to connect with your players. Those are all really, really important things that you got to try to do, and continue to connect with the fan base. Our fan base here in Youngstown has been tremendous. The support each and every year, it's gotten better. Our win total has, been +6 from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, and now it's about continuing to take that next step. And it's been an exciting journey. We knew what we signed up for when we got here. We know where we want to go. You got to take the steps each and every way to get there. And these kids have just really bought in to what we're trying to do, and we're doing it together. I think that's the best way to describe this group. It's a group that all love one another. We've had great conversations with each other, and, we're excited.
Jared Calhoun, our guest. He is the head basketball coach for the YSU men's basketball program. Coach Calhoun, update us a little bit on the upcoming season. I know that the schedule hasn't come out, and simply because of the COVID world in which we're living in, what are some of the restrictions or some of the things that the NCAA is wanting to do in terms of how many games teams play this year?
That's a great question, Ron. I mean, I don't have all the answers on this yet, but kind of what we're working through is, you usually play a 31-game schedule. It's now going to be a 27-game schedule. So, how do you get to your 27 games? A lot of those are built through your conference play, the Horizon League. We are either going to play 20 or 22 league games. That has not been announced yet. So once that gets announced, then we'll move forward with our non-conference. We do have a few contracts out there with, some bigger schools, one financial game and then another on a return game. So we're working through that. Ron, myself, and Coach Chin have been very, very busy with the schedule as it changes daily. So we should have a real good idea what that schedule is going to look like here in the next couple weeks. But we do have an Mte Tournament that we will host right after Thanksgiving, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. We have Eastern Michigan coming in, we have Niagara coming in, and we have SIU Edwardsville coming in. So we'll start the season at home with 3 games, and then after that, kind of all bets are off. I couldn't really tell you what it's going to look like. Do we have to find 2 more games to get to 27? That would mean we're playing 22 Horizon League games. Or do we have to find 4 more games? That would mean we're playing 20 league games. So we've got a lot to do on the schedule. The good thing is it's not just us. I think the entire country, and not only the men's side, but also women's college basketball, everybody's really busy trying to put their schedule together and just make sure that these kids get a chance to play 27 games. The NCAA came out with a lot of different rules on Friday as far as testing, taking the proper procedures to make sure that these kids are safe, they're healthy, and that we don't have any cases of COVID in our program. So I think the NCAA got it right on that. And, YSU has done a tremendous job. Ron has had a staff meeting every Friday for the last 5 months. The Horizon League has done a tremendous job. We've had a head coaches meeting for the last 5 months every week on a Tuesday. So I think the constant updates, the constant changing, what things are looking like, not only here at YSU, but also on a league level, we've been updated every step of the way. So I can't be happier with the way that that's been handled.
Let's talk a little bit about the Horizon League before we let you go. Obviously, YSU is going to be one of the favorites in the Horizon League this year with the amount of kids back and the fact that there is a number of expectations on this basketball program this year. Let's talk about the rest of the Horizon League. Cleveland State is going to get a whole lot better. Wright State, the Northern Kentucky, two teams that year in, year out are always in the mix. Talk a little bit about the Horizon League and what you expect this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be the best that I've seen in my 4 years, Ron. You've got a lot of coaches and a lot of players that are back, a lot of coaches that have done a tremendous job of recruiting really good players. Obviously, Wright State returns quite a bit with Loudon Love kind of leading that charge. Northern Kentucky's been a program that has really invested in men's basketball, from their arena to just the way they operate. They're always going to be a major player. Darren Horn did a tremendous job last year. I think, locally adding Robert Morris, a program that's been very, very good under Andy Toole. He's had really good players. They've been to the NCAA tournament. I thought that was a great addition. I think IPFW under John Kaufman has been a program that's been right there to make the NCAA tournament. And then you talked a lot about, Cleveland State and, different programs and teams that are going to continue to make the jump. And I think that's what makes your league really good. You look at all 12 teams from top to bottom, everybody's going to be a factor in this. And then when you throw in the COVID, with what's going on around the country, what players are going to be available from week to week, I think it makes a really, really tricky season for all of us. I think on paper you may look really good, but, you've got to get some breaks along the way, to make sure that you're having a great year. But, our kids have done a really good job following all the guidelines. I think our campus has done a tremendous job. You see the entire campus has a theme, about social distancing, washing your hands, the way they've structured the classrooms. We have a coaches patrol where coaches are going out at night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, doing their part to make sure things are running smooth on campus. So I feel really, really comfortable that we've done everything that we can to not spread this virus, to keep our guys healthy, and we just got to continue to stay the course.
Knock on wood, we have an entire 27-game regular season because I love the makeup of this team. I think top to bottom, there's a lot of expectation, and there should be, because this team has the makings of being a very, very special team in Youngstown this year, Coach.
Ron, I appreciate that, and I got to bust your chops about one thing. My name is spelled Jerrod. I saw on Twitter it was Jared.
Oops. That, yeah.
I don't know how many times people spell it wrong, but it's spelled a little different.
Jerrod. Listen, I will put that in my memory and gladly take the F in spelling today.
And are you going to be announcing any games? Because you did a great job with Schmitty, and just hoping that we can get you down here to do some games as well.
We are working on that, Coach. And if I'm able to, I'll do every single game, every single home game this year, because I love doing it. But we gotta jump through a couple of hurdles before we get to that. But that's the plan. That's the plan.
Listen, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate all you do for not only our program but all the programs down here, and we can't thank you enough, buddy.
Hey, Coach, always a pleasure. And like I said, the day they hired you was the day I realized, hey, we're going to have a basketball program that's going to go places we've never seen before. And I have a strange feeling if we play basketball this year, that this year might be the year we go to a place that this area has never seen in men's basketball.
I appreciate it, buddy. Go Twins.
You got it. Gerard Calhoun, that's Jerrod. Not the way I spelled it, because I take the F today in spelling, all right? I do. I'm sorry. That's note to self, Gerard, Jerrod. Coach Calhoun, the YSU men's basketball coach, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. We'll take a timeout, and hopefully we'll catch up with Dan Burtolini, the YSU baseball skipper. That's coming up in a bit. Stick around.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Many thanks to Gerard Calhoun, the head basketball coach at Youngstown State University, for calling in. Dan Burtolini and the boys are on the field, so nothing with Coach Burtolini yet. Hopefully in the 2 o'clock hour after our interview with South Range head football coach Dan Yeagley, hopefully Dan Burtolini will be able to come on board. So it's an open line right now. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open, 330-886-0813. Let's go to the phone lines. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. What's going on?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. What's going on, man?
I don't know if your show it's entitled to Emmys. I don't know what the award is, but man, you should be nominated because your show is on fire. I'm telling you. You know, your guests and your callers. I mean, man, this is a match made in heaven.
Oh, it's been fun.
Now, you know, before we get at the Yankees and the Indians, let me say a couple things real quick. I would hate to be in Division 5 and one of the top 4 teams, right? And I had to play Mooney. And in Division 4, I mean, I would not want to play Ursuline right now because I just watched that Ursuline team, I still believe that Cheney is going to make a little noise, in the playoffs. And you look at the way they're ranked, I disagree with that.
Well, again, and look, I mean, that's according to Jeff. Why do I keep wanting to call him Jeff? That's according to Joe Idle, and again, that's based upon what the OHSAA would do in a regular season on their computer polls. Now, as Tony pointed out, and accurately so, there are some teams that completely had to change their schedule, and there's some teams that, frankly, have not played 5 games as of yet. So there's a combination of things that make some of these programs low in the rankings. I'm with you. Look, 3-1 Ursuline or 3-2 Ursuline in a D4 environment, I wouldn't want to play them. And I sure as hell wouldn't want to play a 1-4 Cheney team because, okay, they might be 1-4, but that is not a 1-4 team by any stretch of the imagination. They've lost to an undefeated Canfield team. They've lost to an undefeated Fitch team. They've lost to a 1 or 2 loss Ursuline team. Again, the caliber of competition that Cheney has played, I'm sorry, that is a really good football team that is going to surprise an awful lot of people in D4 Region 13.
You know, at the risk of having our mutual friend, Champ Summers, having his head explode, you started off with some stats. Well, I got a few stats here, too.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about the Yankees and the Indians.
Yeah.
Now, now Shane Beaver, yeah, he's 8-1, and he has a 1.63 ERA, right?
Yep.
But against the Yankees in playoffs, he's 1-0 with an ERA of 8.31.
Okay, and that was back in 2017, the last time those two teams played. I'm
not done. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Okay. Now Cole, it's playoffs, right? He's 7-3 in the playoffs with an ERA of 2.48. He's 4-1 in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a 1.72 ERA and a 0.87. And, I don't really believe in this, but they call it the whip, But
yeah.
You're the baseball guy, right?
Well, no, it's actually a really good it's a really good statistic. It determines how many base runners per inning, the walks and hits allowed. It pretty much determines, other than errors, it pretty much determines how many base runners are on base during the course of an inning. And if you have it under 1, you're pretty good.
And versus Cleveland, Cole is a 2-1 with a 2.79 ERA. Now, DJ Mayhew, he's won the batting title.
Yes.
Voigt won the home run title.
Yes.
Now, I understand Ramirez, the last 11 hits were extra base hits. I understand that, which is in itself is amazing. But I remember watching, in high school football. I remember one time, a couple of years ago, Canfield came to Malakoff, and they had a baseball game. I mean, they had a football game, right? And they played Kinston. Kinston was a pretty good team. I watched them. I hung out with the band, because some good kids in Canfield. And I watched Canfield when they came out of our locker room. And I told you, I told you the next day when I called you, you've been on one of these shows, right? I called you, and I told you that I was so impressed by the coach, his pregame speech. And I told you it was one of the most shortest speeches I've ever heard. He told the players, he told the young men, listen, do your job. And remember, you are Canfield. Now, and they went out they wanted to run through a brick wall. The Yankees had a meeting, a players meeting, about a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, where everything was said. And, he even got on the manager. And Boone said, "Okay, I'll take that." Right. But the bottom line was this: you can't complain about injuries. Which the Yankees you have talked about it a little bit, but we don't believe in complaining about injuries. But if you look at the injury list of what we've had,
it was a long list of injuries, and let's be honest, it was a lengthy list. But
Voigt and them guys stood up and say, "Listen, we can't talk about that. You have to understand one thing. Do your job, and remember, you are a New York Yankee. So I don't care if the Cleveland Indians come out with Hulk Hogan on the mound and doggone the Captain America in the outfield with Spider-Man and the rest of the Avengers. We don't care. We are the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. We're going to do our job.
Okay.
And I think we can win it in 2.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think you're out of your mind. Plain and simple.
Why would you say that?
Because the Indians are better than the Yankees. Otherwise, they wouldn't have home field right now. And if you're a Yankee fan, you better be worried about 2 interesting statistics. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. And again, regular season doesn't always bleed into the playoffs, but it does give a very nice little preview of things to come. The New York Yankees away from Yankee Stadium are 11-18 this year. They're not a good baseball team away from Yankee Stadium. Telling me that this offense, this team, was custom made for Yankee Stadium, where, and again, injuries are a problem, and that's part of the reason why this team was not very good on the road, but 11-18 away from Yankee Stadium. And another statistic that's even more telling is the fact the New York Yankees, going up against teams at or above 500, were just 10-17 this year. Playing the Torontos when they were at 500, playing the Tampa Bay Rays when they were at 500, playing the Braves, playing the Phillies when they were at 500. And because you only played against teams in the American League and the National League East, you had 27 games against teams that were at or above 500 against the AL and the NL East, and the Yankees were 10-17. The Indians played games against the AL and NL Central and had 31 games against teams at or above 500, and they finished 16-15. Now, I'm not saying that that's, because the American League and the National League Central Division, it's different from the American League and the National League East, but if you're above 500 against teams at or above 500, that's not bad. And again, the Indians 18-12 at home. If I'm a Yankees fan, the 2 statistics that bother the hell out of me going into the playoffs, and again, no guarantee whatsoever that these statistics will show in the playoffs, but the Yankees struggled away from Yankee Stadium this year in the regular season, and they struggled against teams playing at or above 500 this year. Those are 2 statistics that I would not want to have going into the postseason.
We don't have those statistics. These are this is one of the times where statistics lie. Because the bottom line is this. Everything you said is true, but we're not going to be putting that Yankee team out there on the field. All those numbers you threw out were without Stanton, were without Judd, without Hicks was hurt. Our third baseman was hurt.
I get it.
We're healthy now. So how can you say this is the same team in the playoffs that you just talked about?
Okay, Emmanuel, let me ask you, how long have the New York Yankees been healthy? Would you say 2 weeks?
2 days.
2 days?
Yeah. Well, they just got Stanton back, and Judd is still day to day.
Yeah, they were 4-6 in their last 10 games,
which is true. But
yeah.
I thought, like everybody else thought, that it was a done deal. It was locked in. We're playing Minnesota. Nobody expected Cleveland to come back from 5 runs down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is going to be a fun series. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a fun series. Would it surprise me if the Yankees won the series? No, it wouldn't. Would it surprise me if the Indians or the Yankees swept each of these series? A little bit, but look, it's 2020. It's COVID. Anything can happen. I think the Indians are the better team. I think the Indians win this series based upon the fact that if this does go 3 games, and I'm pretty sure it's going to, the Indians have the better starting pitcher in Game 3 in Plesac, and it doesn't matter who the Yankees throw. If it's Happ, Montgomery, whoever, none of them.
I think Happ.
Yeah,
I think Hap will be behind Cole. And Tanaka's not bad, but what I'm gonna tell you.
Tanaka's your game two starter. That's not gonna.
All we need, and I believe this is 5 or 6 innings, and I believe that our middle bullpen is better than yours, and I know our closer.
Not
is
even
better than
close.
yours.
Not even close. Not even close. It's your bullpen has struggled this year. And there isn't a closer in the American League with more saves.
Well, I'm going to tell you point blank, right? This how much I feel about the Yankees. If the Yankees win, you have to wear a Yankees hat.
Listen.
Wait a minute, for a whole week.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. I'll be.
If you win. And if you win, I don't mind taking a road trip. I would deliver pizza to you guys.
Listen, I can get pizza anywhere I want to. So that's not happening.
Well, you really so that's telling me like Anthony said, that's telling me you backing off of this.
I'm not backing off of anything. I ain't wearing that filth on my head. What do you want me to get lice? Man, I ain't wearing that filth on my head.
Well, the Indians got all this great pitching, but there's something I want to know too, right? And first of all, we have to give a shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning because you and me, we closet hockey fans.
Yeah, look, well done, Tampa Bay Lightning. They deserve the cup.
Well, I don't know. I thought coming into it, and then they goaltending. I guess Pittsburgh did the right thing with getting rid of because Las Vegas. Their goaltending I thought it was going to be Las Vegas again this year. I thought he was going to be in it.
Yeah.
But then again, they didn't make it. But a good shout out to them. And also too, it's amazing, what Miami has done to make it to the NBA Finals, and it's just amazing how the Clippers and Milwaukee just fell apart. I mean, does Milwaukee's coach still keep his job because Doc Rivers got fired?
Well, don't sleep on the on the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Don't sleep on this team. I'm not saying they're going to beat LA, but don't sleep on Miami. They will give LA problems in the NBA Finals.
What do you base that on?
I think that Miami's on a mission, and I think that they're a team that will give the Lakers some problems. Now, ultimately, I think the Lakers win this series, but it'll be a competitive series. I don't think you'll see Miami get blown out in any of those games. I think it'll be a competitive series.
So you don't want to wear a Yankees hat, man. I'm kind of disappointed in you.
I don't want no damn lice on my head.
Okay.
Hell no.
Okay, so what do you want? You don't want pizza. You want a sandwich of Pittsburgh? That's the wrong drive, right?
No, listen. I'm not gonna make any bets. I just think that the Indians win this series in 3, and we'll go from there. If the Indians don't win the series, I got people in line that are going to want a piece of me. So you have at it. If the Indians lose, you can call up and you can tell me how wrong I was. That's fine. No problem.
Well, I don't operate like that, because when you're right, you don't have to brag.
That's true.
Yankees, But let me something happened, and I don't know. Is Pittsburgh going to play Tennessee this weekend?
There's speculation right now the game may not even happen because if you've not heard, 3 players and 7 or 8 personnel from the Tennessee Titans tested positive over the weekend for COVID after the game on Sunday. Minnesota is being affected. Minnesota's supposed to play Houston. Tennessee is supposed to play Pittsburgh. Those 2 games are up in the air right now as to whether or not they're even going to be played this Sunday because of the COVID outbreak amongst the Tennessee Titans players and administrators.
Well, do you think the season might be in jeopardy?
No, I don't think the season's in jeopardy, but I think this particular game is in jeopardy.
Well, I guess you have to play it on a bye week, huh?
Well, I don't think both teams have a bye. That's the problem. So I don't know how the NFL would come up with this. Hey, Emmanuel, I got to get scatting.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate it, man. 330-886-0813. Dan Burtolini letting us know that we'll be able to get a hold of him, next. So we'll take a time out, and we'll catch up with the head baseball coach. I hate using that term. The manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini. That's coming up in a bit. Stick around.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before, but 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Points on YSNLive.com. Ron Potesta with you, and let's go to the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline where we find the skipper for the YSU baseball program, Dan Burtolini. Skip, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Ron.
Oh, good. Now, you and I have been talking since the off season, and you guys have your fall practice going on until Halloween, the end of October. We're rapidly closing September down. Let's talk a little bit about the progress that you guys have made to this point in the fall practice.
Yeah, I mean it's been a really good fall so far, and we're excited to get going. And we just we had a really good week of practice last week. Kind of capped it off with an inter squad on Friday with our first inter squad, and just really looking forward to continuing to see these guys work and get better. And I thought things went really well.
Let's talk a little bit about the inter squad game. Who stuck out in your mind as guys that had really good games in that inter squad game?
Well, I mean, I think it was just all very competitive both ways. I thought I was really impressed by the way that our pitchers threw the baseball. Colin Clark was really good. Colin Floyd, really top to bottom. I thought Travis Perry looked really good. He had a big off season. Put some velocity on. He was really sharp. Really, there wasn't. I mean, Nick Caruso got his first. He started the scrimmage. He was really impressive, velocity wise, and caught for us. So offensively, there was a bunch of guys. I think they were scattered. I think the final score is 5-4. We played 9 innings, so it was a good game. Clean baseball. I think Blaze Glenn had a couple hits. Dylan Schwarmer had a big triple. So I thought, Jeff Whaler had a couple hits. The guys you thought, were going to come out and really step up. Trey Law, young guy that didn't get a whole lot of opportunity last year. I thought he had a really nice inner squad as well.
When you end the season as well in a regular season, or the way this season was ended with COVID pretty much canceling everything, when you go into the next season, and essentially that's what we're doing right now, is going into the next season, albeit it's a ways away, but fall practice is a prelude to the next season. Once you go into starting the next season, do the pitchers have the advantage because of the fact that you hadn't had a bat in your hand in a number of months?
Yeah, I think we try to train, and I think that's kind of the way it's gone offensively. We hit off of our machines that I think the all week prepping for the weekend was. We were hitting off the machine that was throwing 90 to 94 to try to get our guys prepared to hit some velocity. But yeah, there's nerves and I didn't think either side completely dominated. I thought it was a good mix. It was competitive at bats. There was a lot of strikeouts. Guys threw some stuff that was pretty good, and then as well as there were some big hits and some 2-strike at bats and some walks But I think overall, I definitely think early on the pitchers are going to have the advantage. But a lot of those guys haven't thrown live really against hitters since last March. We're talking to Nick Caruso, and he was, Coach, I haven't played a game since March 7th. So it's been a while since I've been on a baseball field in any kind of meaningful, competitive atmosphere. So I know the guys were really excited to be out there. I know there were definitely some nerves, and it was just good to see them, it was like back to normal, being on a baseball field playing games.
Dan Burtolini is the manager of the YSU baseball program. He joins me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. And look, you and I have been talking about this since the day you were hired. Youngstown State at a disadvantage. All the northern schools are at a disadvantage because the season starts in the middle of February. It's no secret that there's snow on the ground, or it's really cold and it's unbaseball weather, where the teams in the south of the Mason-Dixon line, it's significantly warmer, especially if you go to Southern California, the desert in Arizona, South Florida, the southern part of some of the other SEC states. You're going to have much, much better weather than in the northern part of the states. How do you combat that in the wintertime and the equipment that you guys use in the wintertime? Talk a little bit about the equipment that's used to get these guys, the hitters, in shape in terms of knowing how to hit the ball and the hand-eye coordination and keeping that hand-eye coordination using the modern equipment that you guys have.
Yeah, you can't really. There's no excuses because when we go play schools that are from the south, they're not gonna take it easy on us because it's been cold or it's been snowing. So we have to try to prepare ourselves the best way possible. And, we're fortunate we have a great facility in the Watts and the Watson and Trestle training site here on campus, which is a beautiful facility. Now, there's just like everywhere, there's challenges that come with it. With a lot of, we have, I think now I can't remember how many, 24 intercollegiate athletic sports here at Youngstown State, and so sharing a facility makes life challenging at times. But I think it took us a year or two kind of to figure out exactly how to kind of work it so we could get the most out of our time, because that's really what we're trying to do. Is no matter what we're doing, we want to be efficient. We want to work smarter, not harder. And I think we've kind of got it down to a science. We have some technology that helps our pitchers. It tracks everything that they're doing as far as I'm not going to get too far into it, but spin rate and velocity and vertical break, and all the things, all the metrics that go into pitching. So we're able to kind of tweak some of the pitches and the pitch design so they could. I know Trevor Bauer, former Cleveland Indian, was really big into kind of tunneling and pitch design and those kind of things. So we're trying to make all of our pitches look exactly the same, so you can't tell when it's coming out of your hand, whether you're throwing a fastball, a breaking ball, change up, whatever that may be. So we have some stuff. I think Coach Davis does a great job with the the pitchers, with the technology, and as well as keeping their arms fresh. I mean, that's the one advantage for us. We have a long toss. We have the ability to long toss in the watts, and get the arm strength up, and be prepared to go. And those guys, the weird part, and we talked, I think, last week, the weird part about college baseball is the majority of the time that they need to train is on their own during our winter break. So we put the onus on them, and we have an older, mature group. They're going to take care of their business. They're going to be ready to go because we only have 3 weeks, and then we start practice. Really, almost 3 weeks from the day they get back from winter break till the day we can start practice. And from that date, you only have 3 weeks till the season starts. So you got to really be on it. And I think as far as offensively, we hit off our machines every single day. We try to make it harder than it's going to be in the game. Our pitching machines are top of the line. You can put pitch sequencing in there, so you don't know what's coming. It could be a fastball, it could be a slider, it could be a changeup, and then we try to compete every single day. So we'll do some individual hitting with our offense, where those guys will go in and train, whether it's working on their swing, and then once we're done with that, when we start team practice, it's game-like every day. So they're preparing. They get hundreds of at-bats off a machine or off a live pitcher, if we're inter-squatting, prior to getting out on the field on day one. So we don't feel like we're too far behind. We feel like we're in really good shape when we get out there, whoever we're playing. And obviously it worked all right against Houston last year. So we're going to continue to work, and hopefully we'll be ready when opening weekend rolls around. I think Coach Eric Smith and Eric Bennell do a great job with our hitters getting them prepared.
Dan, let me ask you, before we let you go, obviously the 3 weeks off, that it's up to the players, as you've mentioned, but, in high school, especially in high school basketball, there's a thing called open gym. Or is YSU allowed to have the Watts Center open during those 3 weeks for the players amongst themselves to decide, hey, let's have an unannounced workout where we don't have any coaches around, but everyone starts working out? Is that within the rules of the NCAA?
Yeah, we have some of our guys, especially the guys that live around here, are able to use they're able to lift with Matt, our strength coach, if they're around campus and they want to do that. They're able to work out in the Watts over break if they feel if they're close and able to do that. There's no problem with that. Obviously, none of the coaching staff members can be around, and we can't facilitate that. We can't ask them to do that. But a lot of our guys now have places to train. So if they're home, they have places, whether it's their previous travel ball team or their high school facility, or some guys have cages at their house. So those guys, almost everyone has somewhere to train, and the guys that don't, they can come back to campus and train in the indoor in the Watts or with our strength coaches.
Before October 31st, are you guys able to play any scrimmages against other college baseball teams?
No, we won't be able to play against anybody else. We have our scout day next Wednesday, so that's a big day for our program. There's a lot of buzz going around with a lot of our players, so a lot of the professional scouts will be here, be at Eastwood Field to kind of check those guys out and hopefully get some, get an early look at some of these guys for the potential Major League Baseball draft. Obviously a couple months down the road, and then we'll have our Fall World Series. That'll be sort of our outside competition. So we'll be playing. We have a 5-game series set up to play the Red-White series here at the end of the fall.
Hey, where's it going to be?
Eastwood.
Okay, yeah, because let me know. I definitely want to be there for that.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know when that Red-White series is, and I think it might. I have to look at my schedule, but it might be 2 weeks. I think we start the Fall World Series. I think it's on the weekend, so we're looking forward to that. I know it can get a little. We've been going for now, I think, 5 weeks. So we even though practice has only been going for 2.5 weeks, we've been going for 5 weeks with with our individual training and all that stuff. And they're kind of in the grind right now with classes and getting close to midterms, and that time of year. So I know that World Series kind of gives them an extra jolt, extra bit of confidence, motivation, kind of in that middle of the semester time to really get focused and have a great time. They'll pick their own teams, and it'll be a really fun couple days.
Hey, speaking of the World Series, MLB playoffs start tonight in the American League. Are you excited as an Indians fan? What do you think the chances are of the Tribe getting past the Yankees?
I am extremely excited. I was going to wear my Indians jersey to work today, but had some stuff going on, so I couldn't. But I am, I think tonight's going to be a tough one. I know Bieber's been fantastic, but hitting Garrett Cole is no easy task. But I think the Indians pitching is deep, and I think if they can play the way they did the last 2-3 weeks of the season, I think they got a really good chance to give it a go, especially being home field, being able to play in Cleveland. I think it's a big advantage. You never want to go to New York and have to go. And I think once they get through that, you just never know. I mean, this is a wild 2020. Anything can happen. So if there's a wild, crazy year that a Cleveland sports team is going to win a major sporting championship, I think 2020 would probably fit that mold.
It would definitely be so Cleveland. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Hey, Skip, always a pleasure. Look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yep, absolutely. Talk
All right, see you. Dan Burtolini, he is the manager of the YSU baseball program, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. We'll take a time out. Dan Yeagley will be joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. We'll catch up with the head football coach of the South Range Raiders. Stick around, more to come.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at
Baby boy is recovering from a broken
around our valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
In Mercer County Court.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends: shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you, and I am pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the South Range Raiders, Dan Yeagley, coming on board courtesy of the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Coach Yeagley, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Ron?
I'm doing wonderful. Congratulations to this point of the campaign, 5-0. On top of the Northeast 8 Conference, you have a game at Hubbard on Friday night going on to take the 4-1 Hubbard Eagles up at Hubbard High School. Just a tremendous 2020 campaign for South Range as of right now.
Well, you know what? The kids are playing fantastic. I mean, they're playing hard, and we had a great, when we were allowed to get together in June and July, we had a good time in June and July. We got better as that time went on and tried to make up for those 3 months that we were during the pandemic. And, you know, the kids bought into everything we're selling, and they're doing everything we ask. So what more can you ask for? And we're having a lot of fun along the way.
And you guys are certainly getting an awful lot of respect statewide from the folks in my business. Number 3 in Division 5, according to the Associated Press poll. One of 3 unbeaten teams. Number 1, Kirtland. Number 2, Ironton. And you guys at number 3. Pretty good company considering the past history of Kirtland and Ironton.
Oh, I agree. I mean, my goodness, even be in the same breath as those two is amazing, because they're 2 great programs. I mean, my goodness, Kirtland is Kirtland. We know what they've done over the years, and Ironton, my goodness, you can go back a long way, and Ironton's always been near the top. And it's pretty eye-opening to think about that we're even in that same breath, and it's a great honor to be talked about then. And thanks a lot to all the sports writers, you guys, for putting us up there.
And let me ask you, before we get into postseason talk, are you surprised that by and large, I mean, there's been a couple of hiccups across the valley, and obviously Champion and Newton Falls won't be playing this week because of the pandemic. Are you surprised that by and large, most of the area teams will have played their entire 6-game schedule?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the kids know and the coaches know to play, we have to follow certain rules. So we're doing everything we can to make this happen. And, you know, the kids, I mean, we talk daily to the kids about, you know, hey, you got to understand where you're going. You got to understand you got to wear your mask. You got to understand you got to keep social distancing. You know, you got to understand all that. And the coaches know too. And, you know, the kids want to play. I mean, they're willing to do anything just to play. So to be able to get to that point, to this point right now, and yeah, it surprises me sometimes because I know that it can spread really quick. Example like Champion, but But I'm not surprised because, again, the kids want to play, so they're doing whatever they can so we can be on that field on Friday night.
Coach, you're going to be taking on a really good Hubbard team in week number 6. But before you do that, by the way, you have to prepare for this, but you also have to fill out a form to determine who gets the top seed and who gets the bottom seed in the postseason. Now, the Division 5 Region 17, 26 teams. Top 6 teams are going to get a bye, and all of this is right now into the hands of the 26 teams in D5 Region 17. The coaches have to fill out a seeding form. Now, I spoke yesterday with the head football coach of the Salem Quakers, Ron Johnson, and I'm sure this is probably going to be something that a lot of coaches are going to do. Coach Johnson looked at the Joe Idles thing and said, "Yep, good enough for me," and that's what he filled out. Are you looking at this and spending as much time as the OHSAA really wants our area coaches and all coaches in the state of Ohio to do, or are you essentially going to use Joe Idle's template and use that, or a combination of both?
You know what? I'm going to use a combination of both. I really looked into it hard. I'm a math guy, and so I look at numbers all the time, and I've actually talked to Joe Attell before about how he does the system and his and all that stuff. But some of it because some teams only play 3 games, or some people only play 4 games. The numbers are skewed a little bit, and then that's because we've only played 5 games so far. Over 10 games, that doesn't matter as much, but with such a short season, it does. So I went through. I had a coach go through and write down everybody's record, who they played, all their scores. They did all that, and then I compiled it. Was going through some compiling and doing some things like that, and trying to come up with something that's fair but good. And then I got on today, and Ron, you can help me out. So I need help. I got on today, and I couldn't vote for myself. And
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I was at 0. I got 0 points out of my vote. I'm at 26 because there's 26 teams in our region, and I have to vote on the other 25. I've never done this before because football has never done that. We've always done that, but all of a sudden I got on today, so I got out of it. I said I got to rethink my thinking a little bit on since I can't vote for me. Who do you just move everybody up, or do you start having to think a little bit?
Actually, what you would probably do is from where you think South Range should be in Division 5, Region 17. From that point, move everyone up 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but then I was I don't know. It just took me by surprise that I couldn't see myself, and I thought that was odd.
And Coach, that is something that every coach has had to deal with, where you can't vote for yourself to be the number 1 seed or anything else. So you have to throw your team out of the equation. So you got to rank the other 25 teams. So what I would do, and again, for what I would do, if you have South Range ranked, and I'll throw out an arbitrary number. If you have South Range ranked number 4 or number 3, you simply put let's say number 3. You simply put the number 4 team all the way down to 26, move them up 1, so the 4 team becomes the 3 team, the 5 team becomes the 4 team, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. And I just, I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I just shut it down and say, okay, I'll look at it tonight when I go home and look at it a little bit closer. But I just thought that was odd. But I've never done this before, and I'm learning along the way too. I mean, I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and we're learning, and I'm relying on you to help me out here a little bit, and you did. So that's probably what I'll have to do then.
Let me ask you, how surprised are you that the onus is on you guys instead of in the regular season, in a regular 10-game season, the OHSAA would rely on the computer rankings, and you would play your games in week number 10 on a Friday and a Saturday night, and by Sunday, midday, somewhere around 1, 2 in the afternoon, everyone knows who their first-round matchup is. How surprised are you that the OHSAA turned away from that even though it's a 6-game schedule, you could have very easily used the divisor that ITEL is using, because what Joe does is 98%, if not higher, than what the OHSAA computer rankings do. So why are you surprised that the OHSAA didn't just have the rankings after 6 weeks and went from there, or were you expecting, because of a 6-game schedule, were you expecting the OHSAA to put the onus on the coaches in each region?
No, I thought we'd just go by computer points. I thought Joe Tell would rank us 1 through 26. Now, there might have been some ties, and you might have to do a little fudging around there or do something there, maybe proximity or something like that. But it was just, I was surprised, because not having ever done this kind of stuff before and just relying on the computer and the points to do it, I still think that's the better way. I mean, take all the emotions, all the human stuff out of it, and let's go ahead. Let's not have the Mahoning Valley coaches get together and the River guys all get together and the Trumbull County guys all get together, or the Cleveland areas, and go ahead and decide. I just think let the computer spit it out and then line up and play. To me, I still think that's the best way, but it's different. I was surprised, and I would like to have week 6 thrown in there too instead of just 5 weeks. I think 6 weeks would be a whole lot better.
Now, in fairness, and let's be honest, Kirtland is the favorite in this region. With all due respect to everyone, they're currently number 6 in Joe Itel's system, which would barely give them a bye in the first round. Now, let's be honest for a second. There is no way in hell the Kirtland Hornets are the 6th best team in Division 5, Region 17. So, yes, they're number 6 because the teams that they have beaten, by and large, haven't beaten anyone. And if this were a 10-game season, the low amount of points in the second-level points would be the reason why Kirtland does not have a lot of points right now. If it were a 10-game season and it were like this, Kirtland would be the number 6 team, and that would be weird because they're not the 6th best team in Division 5, Region 17. But you play by what the computer is saying.
Right. That's why I'm not going to go all by computers, because obviously, Kirtland's number 1. I mean, there's not a question in anybody's mind, and if anybody votes differently, then they got to wake up. I mean, because they are by far the best. I mean, their 35-game winning streak, that's for a reason, because they're phenomenal, and that's that's why it gave Kirtland a chance because of some cancellations to do some different things, schedule some different teams, which was good for them. Get a little bit more exposure, play some bigger schools, do some things like that. And hats off to Tiger for doing that, because I think that's a good move on his part. But it still comes down to they are the best team, and that's why you can't go by just computer points. If Coach Johnson wants to do that in his division, that's fine, but you can't do that. Like I said, especially with a Kirtland sitting there, who is Kirtland. I mean, you got to vote them number 1.
Coach, obviously, as we mentioned, 26 teams in Division 5, Region 17, assuming that nobody bails after the pairings are announced on Thursday, there's a really good chance that South Range is going to be one of those top 6 teams, and the top 6 teams will get a bye in the first round, and we'll see the top 6 teams in the field of 16. Knowing that there is a 99.9999 stop, if you've heard this before, 999 chance of you guys being one of the top 6 teams, do you prefer at this stage playing a week 7 or taking that week off, letting the team heal from the bumps and bruises and get back at it in week 8?
You know what? We were talking about that yesterday, and we're going to have to sit down and talk about it a little bit more today, because I don't want to make that decision until after the Hubbard game, knowing that, okay, how healthy are we after that? Because we're banged up. I mean, we've been banged up all season. As a matter of fact, if you talk to any football coach in the area, they're going to say, oh, my goodness, we're banged up. And some of that is because of COVID and not having the normal preparation in the winter for this season. And all of a sudden now get some different tweaks and different injuries that we're all not used to. But I think that, I don't know. I mean, if we come out healthy Friday night, and we may look at a game, or we may look at even a scrimmage. They're allowing us to have even a scrimmage instead. We may look at that, or we may just sit around and try to get healthy and maybe go, I would say go scouting, but I don't even know if we can get into go scouting. But we may go do some work and get some work done and try to get our kids healthy and get them better prepared for the playoffs.
You know, Coach, you just brought up something that is going to be the fly in the ointment in all of this, and that's the fact that we are unsure what the OHSAA is going to do in terms of people in the stands. Now, I have to believe that, okay, you can sit back and go, so many people in the stands, but I got to believe, Coach, that the OHSAA is going to allow the potential opposing team in Week 8 or Week 9 or what have you. I got to believe that those coaches are going to be allowed to scout, because if not, okay, you can rely on film, but let's be honest, you see an awful lot more when you're visibly there at a game, looking at the formations and looking at how the plays break down in a wider angle than a video.
Oh, I agree 100%, and that's why we're big film people, we're big scout people. I mean, that's what we do, and my coaches do a great job with all that, and we're going to have to do something. I mean, that's it might be standing in a parking lot looking outside a chain link fence, but somehow or other we're going to probably be there, and we're going to be looking and trying to figure out what's going on, and hopefully they let us do that. I don't know. I assume if all the tickets are being bought online, we could probably steal a couple tickets that way. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of questions, and Ohio High School just hasn't answered them yet because they probably haven't thought about it, or they just don't know themselves.
Well, that's one of the questions that I'll be asking Tim Streed when we have him on Friday at 2 o'clock. And I want to thank you very much for giving me that opportunity, because that's something that, frankly, I did not even think of. And that's something that is definitely needs to be addressed. Now, my question for you is, when are you going to get that drone working to where you can have the drone flying overhead and one of your opponents, let's get that drone going in, let's say, one of the area schools where your next opponent,
Oh, well, you never know. That's our secret. We're not going to talk about that. But, it's recently, obviously we're not allowed to do that, but it's I gotta see film. I gotta see, we gotta prepare, and our kids are big film people, and we watch film every day. We watch film of our practice. We watch film of opponents' games. We watch. Every day we allot a minimum of a half hour of film time, just because we think we can learn a lot from that. So we're going to come across some film some way or another. I might have to do some nice bargaining or somewhere to get something, but we're going to have to do some talking. But those are great questions, and make sure you send me an answer once you talk to Ohio High School about that.
Oh, you know damn well that's going to happen. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Dan, obviously you're early on in the preparations for the Hubbard Eagles. You've seen this team on film. What sticks out in your mind about this Hubbard team?
Well, they're physical. I mean, they're probably one of the more physical teams we've seen. They get after it. They're big. They're big up front, which is going to cause some problems, just like Poland was big up front and a couple other teams that gives us a problem with their size. But their running back is unbelievable. Caffey is a great running back. 5'11", 205. I mean, he gets after it and has a lot of speed, and he's what they base their offense around. And we got to try and get to him and make sure he doesn't get moving into our secondary. We got to make sure we get hats on him as much as possible, because he's a difference maker. And defensively, they're a great defensive ball group. I mean, they're very similar to us. They attack. They're very physical. They come downhill, and we got to make sure that we get our running backs a little bit of a crease, or give Michael Patron a chance to throw the ball, so we can get the ball down the field. So it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. That's what I love about the NE8. It's full of great coaches that are preparing their teams week in and week out, and it's fun to go talk to them, and it's fun to watch them on film because I tell you what, it's an awesome league, and it's a lot of fun to be part of.
Well, obviously, if you're an independent, you had to scramble and find 6 games. But, the Northeast 8, we have said top to bottom, this is such a great league for everyone, but especially for you guys. You're the smallest school. You're going up against teams that are 1 and sometimes 2 divisions higher than you are. It makes for a great learning tool for the upcoming playoffs, especially this year when everyone is getting invited into the postseason.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, we always talk about the league preparing you for the next set of schedule, which is the playoffs, and this league does. I mean, my goodness, you're going against the Poland, you're going against the Hubbard, you're going against these Niles, these D3s and D4 schools. It's preparing you for the playoffs, and all of a sudden you come across a D5 school that may not be as big, but it's still a lot of fun because once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And we've seen it happen in college level, even the pro levels. That you get into college, all of a sudden everybody plays a little bit harder, everybody plays a little bit differently, and gets after it a little bit more because there's more on the line. And that's what I'm excited. I'm excited about getting into the playoffs. I'm excited about what happens next. But boy, we got to get those Hubbard Eagles first. I mean, because they're a real force, and 4-1 and only losing to Poland, they're pretty good. So we got to come out ready to play.
Thursday at 1 o'clock, the pairings come out, and this is going to be another thing that it's going to be very foreign for the football coaches because normally you have to go through the rest of the regular season, and then on the Sunday prior to week 11, then the coaches find out. So you get to find out, and in your case, you're going to find out whether or not you have a bye, and well, let's be honest, if you guys don't have a bye, I'll take Emmanuel's bet and wear a Yankees hat for the next week if you guys don't get a bye, because there's something very strange going on if you don't get a bye in week number 7. So come Thursday at 1 o'clock, you guys find out who you're playing or not playing, and that's got to be a weird feeling knowing that you're, oh, by the way, preparing for the de facto league championship this week. You got a little bit more fish to fry this week, and yet you're going to find out one day before the end of the regular season who you're playing in the playoffs or not playing.
I know that's going to be really weird, and it'd be nice to be able to keep it from the kids, but that won't happen for sure, especially with today's social media. But it is what it is. We've already talked about it a little bit with the kids, and they know, and we've been talking about it. We even wrote it on the board. This is Hubbard Week. That's the only thing we got to worry about. It's Hubbard Week. You don't have to worry about playoffs. We don't have to worry about whether we get a bye or don't get a bye, whether we get a little bit of loving or no loving at all, like you said. But we're going to, it's Hubbard Week, and that's what we got to prepare for. So I think our kids are pretty stuck on that because we've been preaching it all week, and I'm going to continue preaching it tonight. So, it's Hubbard Week. We got to worry about that first.
Hey, listen, if you have a bye week in week number 7, and I'm doing the Crestview game, assuming that Crestview doesn't have a bye, which they may very well have a bye. Look, they might have me doing another game. Who knows? Open invite to be my color commentator in week number 7, because that's how sure I am of you guys not playing. So open invite if you want to join me and grab a headset and broadcast a game with me.
That might be good. I might even grab a camera so I can film it. But so I might take you up on that.
There you go. Hey, Coach.
Better yet, I might even sign up for YSN so I get all the games for free, and I just might record them all.
Well, there you go. There you go. There's another option. Hey, Coach, always a pleasure, sir. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Thank you so much, and thank you, YSN, for all you've done for us. I really appreciate it, Ron. We'll be talking to you soon.
You got it. Dan Yeagley, he is the head football coach of the South Range Raiders. I'm serious. Open invite. Put him on the air with me. Oh, good Lord. We might have too much fun and not broadcast the game. I don't think DJ would be too happy with that. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Take a time out. We got a fun anniversary On this date, about 13 years ago, something pretty cool happened in the Mahoning Valley. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. Stick around. Tuesday edition of Running Point returns after this timeout.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
To help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now.
For years to come,
so call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. We teased an anniversary date today. 13 years ago today, Youngstown's own Kelly Pavlik knocked out and dethroned Jermaine Taylor as the unified middleweight champion 13 years ago today. And I remember watching this fight in Atlantic City. I wasn't in Atlantic City. I watched the fight on HBO. They had the fight. My father and I and a couple of other people were watching this, and Pavlik was knocked down early in the fight by Taylor, and a lot of folks thought, oh boy, this is not gonna end well. But Kelly was able to survive that round and then got stronger as the fight progressed. And then in the 7th round, if I'm not mistaken, he just teed off on Jermaine Taylor and knocked him out, stopped him, and that was it. Kelly became the unified middleweight champion of the world 13 years ago today. Many, many thanks to the ESPN boxing guru, Dan Raphael, for tweeting that out. 13 years ago today in Atlantic City, Kelly Pavlik knocked out and dethroned Jermaine Taylor as the unified middleweight champion. There you go. So, and we have in our mural over in the front of the in the YSN building, we have a beautiful mural of local athletes and whatnot. Kelly's on there, and again, 13 years ago today, he knocked out Jermaine Taylor to become the undisputed middleweight champion. That was in Atlantic City. So that was 13 years ago today. Well done, Kelly Pavlik. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Again, the big word regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a game this week, or supposed to be having a game this week, against the Tennessee Titans. Not sure how this one's going to play out. The Tennessee Titans had multiple players and multiple personnel test positive after the game against Minnesota, and they are shutting everything down. They have shut everything down. So is Minnesota. Both teams have shut everything down. Now, from what I understand, and this according to an NFL Network reporter, Tom Pelissero. Tom Pelissero tweeted out about an hour ago that as of now, the Titans, Steelers, and the Texans-Vikings games are both on. However, the NFL is evaluating the situation and will adjust if needed, as more information is gathered. Teams are still working through contact tracing data, et cetera. There is a lot of moving parts to this. And again, unfortunately, when you started out the football season or any athletic season in a COVID world, this is going to happen, especially when you're not in a bubble. And obviously, we talked about how it's next to impossible to put a number of teams in a bubble. Now, for the NBA, you had, 20 teams that were pretty much in a bubble, and then we knocked it down to 16 teams when the playoffs started. Now we're in the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat will play the Los Angeles Lakers, best-of-7 series, every game being played in Orlando, and those are the two teams left in the bubble. The NHL just concluded their Stanley Cup playoffs yesterday. Last night, Tampa Bay hoisting the Stanley Cup in Edmonton, and the NHL did a phenomenal job. Unfortunately, Major League Baseball, to this point, has not been able to do a bubble. Now, they will after the best-of-3 playoff series in the American and National League ends. The AL best of three begins tonight. It will end no later than Thursday, assuming that there's no rainouts involved. All three games would be played today, tomorrow, and if necessary, on Thursday. If there's rainouts involved, then obviously you have to add an extra day. The National League starts tomorrow, and again, Wednesday, Thursday, and if necessary, Friday, and then that's it. Everyone will go to a bubble. As we made mention yesterday, the four teams left, the top seed Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Toronto Blue Jays in their best of three. And all three of those games will be played in the Dungeon in St. Pete. The Indians playing the Yankees in a best of three series at Progressive Field. All three of those games at Progressive Field. Whoever wins those two series will meet up in San Diego. So either Tampa Bay or Toronto will be in a bubble with the Yankees or the Indians. And those two teams will be in a bubble. They'll share the same hotel, and they will be in San Diego in a bubble. Likewise, the winner of the Houston-Minnesota series will take on the winner of the White Sox and A's. And the winners of those two games will be in a bubble. They will be in Los Angeles playing their best of five series in Dodger Stadium. And again, the higher seed will have home field advantage. So the higher seed will have home field in games 1 and 2. The lower seed will have home field in games 3 and, if necessary, game 4. If necessary, game 5 would be the higher seed gets the home field advantage. In the National League, the winner of the Dodgers series with Milwaukee will take on the winner of the San Diego series with St. Louis. Those two teams, I want to say those two teams will be playing in Arlington. Yes, they'll be playing in Arlington. So the winner of the Dodgers and Milwaukee will take on the winner of San Diego and St. Louis. Both of the winners will be bubbled. In Arlington, you'll have a best-of-5 series between the winners of those two series from Global Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The winner of the Cubs-Marlins series will take on the winner of the Braves-Reds series in Houston, and those two winners will be bubbled in Houston. So once you get past the best-of-3 series, you'll now have teams in a bubble for the postseason, and we shouldn't have a problem. Knock on wood, we shouldn't have a problem. You're going to have potential problems with the National Football League because you're not going to be able to bubble anybody. You cannot put anyone in the bubble. Now, if we have playoffs, if we get to the point where there's where the postseason comes around, who knows? Depending on where we are, who knows what happens. We might have a bubble for the NFL playoffs. We might not. I honestly don't know. I'll be very curious to see what happens. But as of right now, the game, and thankfully we're still a ways away from Sunday. But as of right now, because of the positive COVID tests involving 3 Titans players and multiple front office personnel, the Titans-Steelers game as well as the Texans-Vikings game, and the Vikings are thrown into this because they were the team that played the Titans on Sunday. So the Vikings, they didn't have anybody test positive, but now they have to basically be in quarantine timeout. So Minnesota and Houston, Pittsburgh and Tennessee, right now, both of those games are up in the air. Don't know what's going to happen. You got contact tracing data. You've got all kinds of other stuff that the teams have to go through, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Now, the Titans coaches, according to Mike Garafolo, Titans coaches have told the players if they have to go without any work until Saturday, they'll have a walkthrough, and then they'll play the Steelers on Sunday. And that's what they'll do. So, according to the Titans coaches, they have no interest in canceling the game on Sunday against the Steelers. If they have to just have no practice the whole week and then do a walkthrough on Saturday and play the Steelers on Sunday, so be it. So be curious to see what happens there. Be very curious to see. But again, and this is the first time for the National Football League that we now have some positive tests involving one of the NFL teams, and unfortunately, it's now going to bring a second team into this, the Minnesota Vikings, because they were the last team that played the Tennessee Titans, who now have 3 players testing positive and a multiple amount of front office personnel. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. All right, take a timeout. Be back to take some more of your phone calls. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open, 330-886-0813. Back in a bit. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
To help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now.
For years to come.
So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Points on YSNLive.com. Before we take another break, I wanted to throw out some good fortune, or some congratulations, I should say. Not good fortune. Come on, Ron. Some congratulations in order for some of our local football and soccer programs. Congratulations, AP poll, Ohio schools football AP poll. Austintown Fitch, number 11 in the state of Ohio in Division II. They got a first-place vote. They are number 11. D3, Canfield got a first-place vote. They are number 4 in D3 in the state of Ohio. West Branch got a first-place vote. They are number 11 in Division 4. South Range got a first-place vote. They are number 3 in D5. Garrettsville Garfield is number 7 in Division 5. Springfield got a first-place vote in D6. They are the number 4 ranked team in the state of Ohio. Mte Valley is number 12 in the state of Ohio. Congratulations to Pine Valley. Division 7, Warren JFK got a first-place vote. They are number 5 in the state of Ohio. Leetonia cracks the top 10. The Bears are at number 10. That is in Division 7. The boys state soccer poll. Howland is number 2 in the state of Ohio in Division 2. The Howland Tigers, 9 wins, no losses, 1 draw. They are number 2 in the state of Ohio. Canfield is number 13. They have 7 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. Poland is among the other teams receiving votes in boys soccer Division 2. Boys Soccer Division 3, Crestview, unbeaten in 10 matches. They are number 5 in the state of Ohio. Cardinal Mooney is number 14 in the states. They have 3 wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties. And South Range is receiving some votes in boys Division 3 in soccer. Girls Division 2 in soccer. Canfield is number 10 in the state. 7 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. West Branch is number 12 in the state of Ohio in girls Division 2 soccer. The Lady Warriors, 8 wins, no losses, and 2 ties. Salem is also receiving some votes. Girls Division 3 soccer poll. Congratulations to the Springfield Lady Tigers. 9 wins, no losses, no draws. Springfield is number 9 in the state of Ohio for the girls D3, the latest soccer poll, courtesy of the Ohio Soccer Coaches Association. So congratulations to those programs, as well as our high school football teams that have received mention, courtesy of the AP poll. We'll put a bow on this one coming up after this timeout. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Points on YSNLive.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at WRSInsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before, but 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. Coming up in just a bit, we will have Power Hour. Coming up tomorrow, Brian Driscoll, our resident Notre Dame guru, will be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. Yes, Notre Dame has an off week, and that will be 2 consecutive weeks of no football for Notre Dame. You'll recall last week's game was postponed because of a COVID outbreak. No game this week, so we'll focus a little bit on the recruiting aspect as well as how Notre Dame is dealing with the COVID issue and how everything is going, the latest on what is going on over in South Bend. Brian Tolnar will be chiming in at 1 o'clock, and we'll get his pick for the Sanderson Farm Championship. That is going to be taking place this coming weekend, and we'll talk a little bit about that. John Vargo from the Tribune Chronicle will be calling in at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll get his take on a number of things involving the area and what we can expect on this week 6 of the high school football season. I want to thank all of our guests today. Doug Chapin for graciously allowing us to talk with him 40 minutes earlier so we can have Jared Calhoun, the head basketball coach of the YSU Penguins, to come on board and talk YSU men's basketball at 1 o'clock. And by the way, that's Jared, Jerrod, not how I spelled it. I will gladly take the F in spelling today. Dan Burtolini, the skipper over at the YSU baseball, and we talked with him at about 1:40 today. Dan Yeagley from the South Range Raiders caught up with him at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and many, many thanks to those four gentlemen for coming on Running Point. Again, the American League best-of-3 playoffs begins tonight. I like the Indians to beat the Yankees in 3 games. I think all 4 of the series in the American League will take 3 games. I like the I like the Rays to beat the Blue Jays in 3. I like Minnesota over Houston in 3. And I like the White Sox. I like the White Sox to upset the Oakland Athletics in 3. By the way, they're in the top of the second. Minnesota and Houston, game 1 of their series, no score. Top half of inning number 2. So I like the Indians to beat the Yankees, the Rays to beat the Blue Jays, the Twins to knock off the Astros, and the White Sox to upset Oakland. All 4 of those best-of-3 series will go 3 games. That's what I think. Tomorrow we'll maybe break down the National League best-of-3 playoffs. But get used to this, because I think this is something that Major League Baseball is going to want to do from here on out. I think this is a moneymaker for Major League Baseball, and that's all that matters. All right, that'll do it for the show. Many, many thanks to our guests. Stick around. Power Hour is coming up next. Have a great rest of the Tuesday. We'll talk tomorrow. You've been listening to Running Points on YSN.